Welcome everyone. Today our topic is management of asthma. Today we're going to study about the asthma. As you can see in this picture and in this COVID situation, we have to remember that asthma is a very chronic inflammatory disorder of the airways. While the chronic inflammation which causes an increase in the airway, hyperresponsiveness occur which leads to the recurrent episodes of wheezing, breathlessness, chest tightness and a cough, which particularly at night or early in the morning. So that is a definition of the asthma. So these are the basis of the factors on which we differentiate the asthma from the COVID situation. Asthma is a very disorder which occurs in a long period of time, but that is in chronic period, that is more than 4 or weeks. Now this is a diagram which is showing you a normal airway tube and an airway tube with a person who is having asthma. So the novel is having a normal muscle, normal airway wall, while the one having asthma is having a narrow airway, and which leads to the tightness of the muscle. The muscles basically constrict. You can see here the muscles is constricted and the passage is narrow. Now we're going to discuss about the incidences of the asthma. Basically affects around an estimated population of around 25,000 lakh, which is every year. That is a huge number. So basically the cases of the asthma are increasing every year and the rate is very shocking, that is 50%. Now we're going to study about the trigger factors which basically trigger in a person's the asthmic attacks. That is the allergic inhalations, like somebody will having animal dust or house dust or having allergies from the cockroaches, or basically most commonly seen, that is the allergy from pollens is also a very important trigger factor. Now there is air pollutants. Now these days the air pollutants are everywhere, like the exhaust fumes, like the perfumes, the oxidants and the cigarette smoke, which is dangerously responsible for the increasing attacks of asthma in a patient, or because of also increasing the asthmatic patients in the world. Now we're going to study that's about the air pollutants. So these are the trigger factors which basically triggers the asthmatic attack. Now there is viral respiratory infections, like a sinusitis patient, or basically sometimes the asthmatic attack also triggers by doing excessive exercises or by the cold dry airs, or usually it is seen that in the winter season the asthmatic attacks increases, and it also increases by taking excessive stress. And this is the most important point that we have to remember, that is there are some drugs which also induces the asthma. Now we're going to learn about the occupational exposure, that is the metal salts, wood and vegetable dust, industrial chemical and plastic, and the food additives. These are very important. Now there is gastroesophageal reflux disease also, which occurs because of the asthmatic attacks. Now there's types of asthma which are present in the which we can see in the our daily surrounding, like the allergic asthma, which can be occur from the pollen grains, from animal dust, from any vegetable sources. Now this is called allergic asthma, or also known as extrinsic asthma, which is the when the symptoms are induced by hyperimmune responses, which is basically type 1 hypersensitivity reactions of the IgE. Now there is non-allergic asthma, which is also known as intrinsic asthma. That is a type of asthma which is basically triggered by the presence of irritants in the air, which is not related to the allergies. Now these irritants basically what they do, they stimulate the parasympathetic nerve fibers in the airways, which causes the bronchoconstrictions and the inflammation. So the non-allergic asthma is basically occur out of any allergy. It's occur because of the parasympathetic stimulus. Now we have the mixed asthma, which is the cholinergic and non-allergic asthma. Like the person is having allergies from the non-allergic and as well as the allergic asthma. So this kind of asthma is very common these days. There were people which were we now daily basis seen that they having allergies from the in the winter season because of the winter or the climate changes, and they also having the allergies from a particular food sources, or they also have allergies from a particular source of animal dust. So that is a why, and that is pollen also is a very important source for triggering as well as allergen. Now there is cough variant of asthma which does not have the classical symptom of asthma like wheezing and shortness of breath. Instead it is having a characteristic symptom, that is persistent dry cough. That is the cough variant asthma. Now we have an exercise induced asthma which basically affects the person during physical occur which a physical activity. So a person is doing a physical activity or an excessive physical activity, it will lead to a triggering the asthmatic attack. Now there is nocturnal asthma, the asthma which basically worsens at nights, and the person experience these symptoms mostly not mostly the times of the day, but mostly in the night. Now there is occupational asthma, which basically induced by the triggers which were present in the person's occupational environment, like a person working in a textile, in a farming, in a woodworking, or in a coal industry. That person is more prone to it. Now there is clinical manifestation by which we can diagnose or we can make a differential diagnosis of asthma is by wheezing. If a person is coming with wheezing, dyspnea, that is difficulty breathing, the person is having cough, or the person is saying that is he or she might feel a chest tightness, and there is an expiration which is now prolonged, he take a longer time than it's normal. Now its secretions which he is now secreting is also white, thick, tenacious, glycogen and mucus. Now there are some diagnostic studies by which we basically diagnose it, that is the history, the physical examination, the pulmonary function test is also being done, and the peak expiratory flow rate, the chest x-rays, the ABG, the allergy skin testing, the blood level just to check the IgE levels. These all are the diagnostic tests which basically done. Here is the picture showing the sterile needle is being injected into the suspected allergen. If the test comes out to be positive, a number of suspected allergens we have detected, then the test comes to be positive. Now the complications also occur, like a rib fracture could occur, pneumothorax could occur, atelectasis occur, pneumonia, or a status asthmaticus. So this is a very beautiful X-ray of the lungs which is showing us a opacity in the lungs, or showing beautifully the pneumothorax. So this is showing complications which might occur because of asthma. Now the management of asthma, that is basically done, we can remember it by so beautifully explained mnemonic, that is asthma, that is adrenergic. We give the beta 2 agonist albuterol, steroids, theophylline. Hydration is basically done by IV hydration, and now we given the mask of O2 because the person having breathlessness, and we give the anticholinergics. Now this is the shortest way which we can remember the management of asthma. Now the drug therapy we use for a long-term control, the medicines which we give are anti-inflammatory drugs, corticosteroids, bronchodilators, long-acting beta 2 adrenergic agonist, and the theophylline. These drugs helps in reducing the secretion. These drugs have in basically help in the muscles to basically as the muscles and the pathway get narrowed. So because of these drugs like corticosteroid and long acting beta 2 adrenergic, they basically reduce the inflammations, and they basically reduce the narrowing of the drugs. Now there's some quick relief medicines also which basically gives us initial and a quick response towards the treatment of asthma, that is like bronchodilator is being used, and the short acting inhaled beta 2 adrenergic agonistic, anticholinergics and corticosteroids. So this is a short basis on which a person could get the relief of the treatment, or if the person is having excessive mucus secretion, we can use. Now the conclusion is like eating fish oil rich in omega-3 fatty acid, it could help in reducing around 70% of the cases of asthma. There is fish oil which is dubbed as one of the healthiest food, and it is also enriched with PUFAs, which is the polysaturated unsaturated fatty acids, and N3 and containing omega acid, so which is a crucial role in the development of the brain and functioning of the central nervous system also. So basically the CNS work well, there will be less secretion or the mucus secretion. So that's it all about the topic asthma. We have discussed the type of asthma, we have discussed the factors which basically trigger any attack of asthma, we discussed the pathology, we discussed the beautifully explained mnemonic of asthma, like how we can remember asthma in a long run, and these are the medicines which we have to remember, that we give bronchodilators, we give corticosteroids, we give theophylline. That's it. Thank you.